couple years ago, maybe even 1 year ago, I definitely would have given up by now. And even though I don't see the results, I'm trying so hard to remember that consistency is so important and you have to act like her before you can be her, that your future life and your future self isn't just going to show up one day. And in the grand scheme of life, 3 months is not that long to wait, but it's really hard to remember. I've been failing a lot lately. I'm not seeing a lot of progress. I have 54 YouTube subscribers. Love you all. I don't see the number on the scale going down. I don't feel like I'm learning, growing, becoming more confident, positive. I know it's been only a few months and this is my all or nothing mindset trying to trick me into giving up, but it's hard when you feel like you're not growing and you've hit a plateau and you're failing. I feel like I'm failing. And I think this is a really relatable feeling for lots of people. After months of not seeing any progress, my instinct is to just give up, to let it go. At least that's what my old self is begging me to do. I find myself constantly questioning myself and doubting myself and thinking, what do I do now? And when I think about what my future self would answer to that question, it's keep going. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about the phrase, faith is believing without seeing. And I'm really trying to remind myself that I have faith in myself, even if I don't see the growth, if I don't see the results. Even if I do fail, if I am failing, I can learn from it and grow. And the more you learn and grow and repeat, the closer you'll get. So if you've ever felt like this, maybe you're currently feeling like this, these are some mindset shifts and tips to help you get through this uncomfortable stage of not knowing what to do next, or potentially that old voice in your head is telling you, give up, you're not good enough, you can't do this. How do you push that out and focus on who you want to be and what the next step is? We don't just experience failure, we interpret it. We think that it means something and says something about us. This interpretation can shape everything. It's really easy to turn one failure into a bigger story about yourself and all that you can do and accomplish in your life. This isn't for me, or I'm not that kind of person, or why did I think I could do that? But failure is neutral. It's not a story or proof that you can't do something. It's just feedback, not identity. I like James Clear's take on this when he says, fail like a scientist. When a scientist is conducting an experiment and he gets an answer that he wasn't expecting, he doesn't see that as a complete failure, even if it disproved the hypothesis. He uses it as a data point to make another experiment and keep going, keep going, keep going. You're still learning something. Unfortunately, it's really easy for us to devalue things that we fail at. When things are difficult or we feel like we're not growing, we're not learning, we're not doing things to our expectation, which is usually way higher than it should be, we start to let it go. Maybe we don't like it anymore, or we think it's not worth it. Truth is, if you fail at something and you just immediately devalue it, that's a lot easier than saying, I really wanted this and I'm not getting it. You might just say, well, I guess I don't want this, or this is stupid, rather than admitting to yourself and maybe to others, I'm struggling. This is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And it is. I feel like that now. I've never been consistent and it's really hard. And I have a lot of respect for people who chase their dreams and never see results and keep going and keep going. And I want to be that person. I want to get to a point where I just enjoy the process. But that takes consistency and constant work and growth. And that's hard. So along with not letting failure define you, when you face this failure, it's really important to acknowledge it. Kind of like me with this video. I'm talking out loud and I'm expressing my frustration. This is really important. Don't just have a conversation in your head because that voice is going to win every time. Saying it out loud, writing it down, journaling about it. I know it feels weird and uncomfortable, but it's so much more helpful. Have a debrief when something doesn't go the way you planned. Say, this sucks. I feel bad. I feel like I'm never gonna get there. I feel like this is so scary and intimidating and challenging. And then talk to yourself, respond as you would a friend, not just that voice in your head out loud, because those are two separate voices. Ask yourself, is what I'm saying valid? Is it true? And so for me, yeah, it's really hard and frustrating and challenging. Like, I will validate those feelings. What I won't validate is the thought of this is proof that I can't do it or I can't be that person, because that's not true. So separating the feelings of frustration and anger and discomfort with actual identity. And ask yourself what questions to kind of get to the bottom of things, not why questions. These tend to spiral and there's really no answer, but what questions are a lot more specific. They get to the core of what you can do. So things like, what went wrong? What went right? What will I do differently next time? This helps to turn failure into a learning system and process, rather than just an emotion that is quickly tied to an identity and leads you to giving up. For example, if your goal is to speak more confidently, like lots of my clients in English, they might have an awkward interaction or a negative reference point where they felt stupid or uncomfortable. Instead of overthinking it and overanalyzing it all day long and thinking you sounded ridiculous, I want you to go through it out loud or in your journal. Explain it like you would explain it to a friend. I hesitated, I felt awkward, I didn't ask good questions. And then think about what you want to do in the future. Next time, I'll focus on slowing down. I don't want to just try to be perfect. I want to have realistic expectations and improve a little bit every time. Maybe I want to say this specific phrase, or I want to talk to this specific person because they make me feel comfortable. Have a plan for the future, a plan to learn and grow. This type of analysis can be really helpful. So I want you to remember that failure is a part of growth and you are not alone. I am in the trenches of this with you, but you can't attach these frustrated feelings with your identity and thinking that this means anything other than the fact that you're learning. Fail, grow, learn, repeat. That is life. You're allowed to fail and still want something, still learn and grow and become that person. And just because you don't see it now, just because you feel like you're not even inching towards it, doesn't mean you won't become that person. But things take time. Unfortunately, social media and YouTube and the world nowadays, we're surrounded by extreme stories of success and virality. We think this is normal. We use the word millionaire like it's normal. We have all these expectations of ourselves because we see them online constantly. We think we can snap our fingers and get there. We think we can work hard for 3 months and get there. And this just isn't realistic at all. And that's a tough pill to swallow, but it's one that I'm working on now. And in the long run, it will make us better people. It will make us who we want to be, and we will grow and we will learn so much because of it. So I hope this video reminded you that you're supposed to fail, you're supposed to learn, and this will lead to growth. You're not alone in feeling the frustration and the struggle. It's so real and so normal, even though maybe nowadays on social media and online, it doesn't seem like lots of people are struggling and growing and learning and failing, but they are. So be kind to yourself and remember these mindset shifts. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.